My first day at Welch College, the incoming class had ministry team tryouts. I was nervous, of course, and even after I'd sang the song that I'd prepared for the committee, I was still on edge. In fact, I was so nervous that when they started asking questions and Dr. Stevens asked me whether I played the harmonica or not, I answered with a "yes, ma'am." Talk about a great way to start off my new journey at Welch College. Now, the testimony of how God has used my time at Welch College is not complete without the story of my previous 2 years at junior college in California. These 2 years were difficult, but really full of a desire for a solid Christian community. Playing basketball and living in a house full of other guys gave me a glimpse of what this could look like, but never gave me a full taste of life together with other believers. Even when I first arrived at Welch College, I contemplated leaving because of struggles with fitting in and being different and the transition overall. Thankfully, the Lord used friends like Chol and Seth Oliver who went out of their way to encourage me and bring me into their circle of friends. Thank you guys. The Lord has used you, and I'm very glad that I stayed. So through these past 2 years at the college, God has given me more and more of a desire for two things. The first is a love for His Word. Now, if anyone asks what my favorite class here has been at Welch, I never fail to mention Old Testament law and history with David Outlaw. Many of you who are in that class can, unfortunately, remember me passionately standing up from my chair to defend David's hope of one day seeing his child in heaven. Dr. Outlaw, you helped bring to life the Old Testament, and this has given me a passion not only for the Old Testament, but for the scriptures as a whole, and for that I will always be grateful. So thank you. Now, one of the best parts about transferring to Welch after 2 years was that most of my general education was complete, which enabled me to spend most of my 5 semesters in Bible and ministry courses. The Lord used this time to hammer home some truths of His, to which I will cling to for the rest of my life. One of those being that His Word and His Word alone is foundational truth. It is the place that I should go to first and foremost when seeking wisdom, researching theological issues, ideas, etc. I pray that this will always be a priority for myself, for my family, and for you as well today. Dr. McAfee, you are one of only a handful of people that I truly respect and look up to for your wisdom and knowledge of God's Word. The Lord used your class as an anvil. Never have I enjoyed a class so much as Genesis and Exodus, yet never have I had to work so hard for a B in my life. But this spirit of excellence and biblical thought and knowledge that you hammered home is something that I will take along with me in life's journey. Thank you. All of this to say, during my time at Welch College, the emphasis on God's Word was a needed influence in my life. I hope that the college will always emphasize this to its students, and I think it will. The second thing that I'll walk away from my college career is a love for people and their spiritual walk. It is one of the simplest commissions given by Jesus when He was on earth, but the task of making Him known is great. Welch College gave me the opportunity to serve on one of its ministry teams. Through this chance, Daniel Webster and some of the other young people we met on our journeys that God used to begin to cultivate this fire in my heart. There were so many young men and women at the places that we visited who desired something more from life. And I'm convinced to this day that what they really wanted was a real relationship with Christ. Christ who gives life to the fullest. It is also through Spark that Daniel Webster, Daniel Hunter, and I formed a friendship that I think will last forever. Our conversations of righteous living, what it means to be a man in the world today, what God has asked of our lives has shaped me in more ways that I can think of. Thank you, guys. Another place where God gave me more of this desire for people was in the science lab. The class Evolution and Origins was a needed search for truth for me. Dr. Hawkins, the Lord has used you in my life to desire a biblical harmony in all thoughts, including the world of science. You gave me the freedom to express doubts, fears, and even disbelief, and always gently answered with confidence, kindness, and truth. I hope that my kids one day have the chance to learn from someone as wise and knowledgeable and sincere as you. Thank you. On the soccer field, always trying to see my teammates and opponents as people first, each individually that the Lord loves. Thank you, Coach Wilson, for always reminding of us of the priorities of life and our relationship with Jesus. Now, my senior testimony would not be complete without mentioning my life group. Truett, Tyler, Josh, Ryan, Ben, Truman, and Drew. I pray you guys will always continue to create community with Jesus at the center as we did. Dr. Calloway and Clint Morgan, you both helped intensify my desire to see people around the world know the Lord. I pray the college continues to and emphasizes this missiology more and more, something so crucial to the Christian faith. Coach Fabush and Coach Wilson, thank you for the chance to play for you. Dr. Hester, thank you for opening up your office to me as a safe place to talk about life. In the midst of the busyness of school, your willingness to take time for me spoke loudly of your care and character. Dr. Pinson, thank you for personally inviting my wife to come to Welch College almost 5 years ago. Debbie has had maybe one of the greatest impacts on my life. She has truly been such a blessing and a joy. Now, these two things that I spoke of, a desire for God's word and a love for people being changed by the love of Christ, are things that I will take with me as my family goes to Bulgaria shortly. And life after that as well, season by season, keeping my priorities focused on the Lord. These things I hope to teach my son and, Lord willing, his children as well.